fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Pocket Warriors 01. What? The Tur? So anyway, this is Pocket Warriors 01 Guardian Fuzz from X-Transbots. It is obviously Protectobot Streetwise, done in a very small scale. He'll be about 4 inches tall and be kind of roughly the size of some of the other Magic Square toys. He does come packaged in vehicle mode. That's why this thing is so tiny. So you can see a little picture of the vehicle mode here on the bottom, as well as the top. Was that supposed to be the True? What is the Tur? I still don't know. Anyway, on the back here shows the back of the robot mode and the vehicle mode, and then like a blueprint. And then we got a blueprint of the robot mode over here. I'm really not sure what's going on with this packaging. Let's go ahead and let's get him out and take a closer look. So here is Guardian Fuzz, or Streetwise, in vehicle mode. He's honestly about the size of like a Matchbox car or a Hot Wheels car. He's pretty tiny. As you can see, he is pretty compacted here underneath. And there is a spot to store the weapon. His gun actually pegs in right there underneath. So if I go ahead and pop that out, hopefully without popping his arms out, as that happens sometimes, you can see that there is a little square tab slot right there that the gun can just peg into, so I'll take that out, put that off to the side. Yeah, but I mean, it's painted pretty decently. You have black for all of the windows, you have the light bar done in some translucent plastic there on top, got the like police sheriff star there on the side, which looks pretty cool, and then you've got a little detailing here on the bumper, and you got the headlights. Got some nice paint here on the back, some metallic red and orange for the lights, which looks pretty sharp. Plastic quality feels, I don't want to say cheap. It's a little bit on the cheapish side. I don't know. It's hard to describe. But yeah, he's tiny. He's definitely, like, I would say this is probably about the size of a Matchbox car. I don't have one handy. Let's see. The best thing I can compare it to here is, I think, Mechanics Studio Tracks, just for a size comparison there. He is definitely much shorter than Tracks in vehicle mode. They look kind of cool together. That's really about all I can show off. I don't really have anything else like vehicle wise to show you, but just to give you some kind of size comparison. I wish I had something more kind of universal. Yeah, I don't. I'm sorry. But in any case, I would say, honestly, it reminds me of like a Matchbox car or Hot Wheels car. That's about how big he is. So we'll take Tracks off to the side here. That's pretty much all there is to really show you. I mean, it rolls decently for the vehicle mode. I don't think this guy is going to be... Well, I don't know. There's kind of connections down here. I have no idea if they're going to do the rest of the Protectobots or if this is going to be... Like, I don't see any, like, obvious combination ports anywhere on here. Like I said, it almost looks like maybe that could be some kind of connection right down there. But I honestly don't know. This guy was just announced out of the blue. I got it on BBTS. I don't know if they're doing the rest, if they have any plans to make them actually form Defensor. Maybe they'll just do them for fun and they just won't combine. That would probably be fine with me. But yeah, very interesting. So let's go ahead, let's get into the transformation. So transformation is not overly simplistic, but also not overly complicated, which is kind of nice. It's in a nice little sweet spot. So to start off, you have to kind of flip the legs back, and this can be a little difficult to do. So if you can kind of see here that there is like a panel here, you can see the panel lines and everything, and this is all part of it here. It kind of cuts down the center of the star, and you have to kind of like untuck this from underneath so that you can flip this out. So let me see if I can actually get this. There we go. Okay. So you can see where it splits there. You have, because it kind of like tucks underneath because it's got tabs. So once you can get that out, then you can kind of split the leg apart, and then this whole thing will spin around. And I can never remember exactly where this splits and spins, but come on. I don't want to break you. There we go. So that spins around there like that. So we want to do the same thing over here. You have to kind of get this to untuck from underneath and then spin this around like so. The arms will most undoubtedly come unpegged while you do that, but that's fine. We'll get to them in a minute. So you want to kind of bring this down, and you might have to open up these side skirts to do so. Then you can kind of flip this little panel down like so. So pop this like that. You're going to grab a hold, and you can see this already kind of popped out, and that is going to happen. This will slide forward, and basically, I might even just see if I can take this off. It's just in a little track. So if it pops out, you can kind of pop it back in and push it back in. But there's just kind of like two little tabs, and they just kind of slide in this little track here that's right here. So once you have the leg like this, you're going to flip this section around like this. And it will also kind of extend out. So you can see how there's like a double hinge there. So this was kind of up like this and then collapsed in like that. So you want to kind of bring it forward while at the same time rotating that around, because that panel is going to fill a gap right there. So now, while you have this fully extended, you can see that there's a little tab right there, and there's a little tab slot right there. So you want to make sure that stays fully extended, so you can bring this down and kind of pop that in, and that will click into place there. Then you can see the little tab right there, which is going to tab in right there. This will rotate around and click into place there. And then this section will actually rotate 180 degrees and then fold back in and kind of form the front foot. So you can see that's kind of one leg done there. Then you can kind of push that side skirt back down. So once again, we are going to flip this section around while at the same time kind of accordioning that out. Then we're going to make sure this is extended. There we go. This will pop over here and peg in there. And then this will rotate up and peg in there like that. Then rotate this 180 degrees and fold that in to form the foot. And that will also kind of give you your ankle tilt. It's not perfect, but it will give you a little bit of ankle tilt. Now, unfortunately, you would want the ankle tilt to kind of go the other way, but because of how it connects, you can only ankle tilt in so far. But he can get some. And this is not wanting to cooperate with me here. There we go. So you can get a little bit there. But those are the legs done. Now this top section is actually much easier. So you're going to pop those arms out like we did by accident several times earlier. And then unhook this. So this will actually, this has to, let me see. I think this all pops back, if I remember correctly. This will actually rotate around. So this panel of the side will actually rotate around with the arm. So you can see how that rotates like that. And then that will allow you to then spin this like that to kind of straighten out the arm there. So this is going to rotate around like this. This, once that gets to about there. And there is kind of like a little divot. You can kind of see, I don't know how well that's showing up, but there's kind of a little divot there. And that's for this to rest in. So that'll kind of come around and sit into that divot like that. This one was on this side, previously resting in that little divot. So bring that around like that. Then we can rotate this arm around. Then we're going to take these front kind of bumper pieces and they're going to fold in like this. Then we're going to bring this whole section up. This is going to rotate in like that. And then this will just kind of come up and form the chest. Spinning it around to the back, we are going to fold this section out, which can be a little different. You can see the pin right there. That's the hinge. But it's kind of hard to get this section to flip out, quite honestly. If I rotate this, does that make it easier? Yeah, you can kind of get a little. You also want to kind of bring the head out, because that will help. And maybe it gives you something to grab onto. Come along. I'm doing it the wrong way. That also probably helps if you do it the correct way. So bring this around like this. There's a little tab right there which will peg in over here. So this comes down and tabs into the back, which you just have to line up. Oh, come on. There we go. And then the head will rotate around. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to do. There's a little panel inside here, right here. I might lift this up to make it a little easier. This can be kind of difficult. This is, in my opinion, the hardest thing to get to spin around, and you might need some kind of tool or something. I'm going to just grab my sticker tweezers here to kind of pop this up. So this has to pop up. Just have to get some kind of tool to kind of pop that out. There we go. Then we can push this up to fill that gap. And then when this comes down and pegs in here, now you have a nice closed up area right there. Here's our head. And then the last steps are just to straighten out the double jointed elbows and then flip the hands out from inside the forearms, which again can be kind of difficult. You would think that there would be some kind of something right there that would help you pop this, open, but there really isn't. So you have to just kind of, I might actually just use this. I can kind of get this inside the hand just to get it started. There we go. Flip the hand out there. Once again, straighten out the elbow. And pop this around. Come on. There we go. Okay. And there is Guardian Fuzz, aka Streetwise, in robot mode. See if I can get him to stand here. There we go. Honestly, it's a pretty cool little robot mode. I think they did a nice job with them. You know what I just realized? These side panels are probably supposed to fold up and cover up his sides. I thought they were just side skirts. But yeah, I think they're... And I'll be honest with you guys. The directions for this thing are terrible. It's like half a page. It looks like it's not the full instructions. And a decent amount of it you have to kind of figure out on your own as you go. So yeah, I thought those were side skirts because I thought that kind of... But yeah, I think that's definitely supposed to rotate up there and cover up the sides. So there you go. You'll learn as you go. But in any case, I think it's a cool looking little robot mode. I really do. I think the head sculpt's pretty great. Again, nice metallic paint there, especially on the sides. And the blue for the visor. Head's on a ball joint, so you can spin side to side, no problem. Look down, look up pretty ridiculously. You can even tilt side to side. You have, I think we have a butterfly. Meh. No, you really don't. You have a nice hinge, though, for the shoulder, as well as a front to back rotation. Just have to be careful of those little side view mirrors because they will kind of get in the way. So you have a bicep swivel. You have those double jointed elbows. Although I will say the second elbow, not the best. I mean, it's kind of wonky. Like, it'll go to about there. You can kind of utilize. It's a little wonky. You just have to be careful with that. But you can get, one good elbow out of one of them. The wrist does not do anything because of the way it folds into the forearm. You have waist swivel. You can kick pretty far forward. You can see the way the part of the skirt kind of comes with the foot, which is nice. You can go back, kick out to the side pretty far. You got a thigh swivel there. Not much going on in the knees. I would say maybe 45 degrees in the knees. And then I talked about that ankle tilt. It's not great. It tilts very far in the other direction, but that doesn't help anybody. So you kind of have to lock that into position and then just kind of go with it. But he's a cool little dude. Let's go ahead. We'll give him his gun. That pops into the hand pretty simply. Now, I've always been a big fan of the Protectobots. I don't know why. Their designs, I really like them a lot, especially their animation models. So to get this guy, with a really clean robot mode here, I think they did a great job. He's really got no kibble whatsoever. And the transformation, once you do it once or twice, it's really not too bad. It's not as complicated as some of the Magic Square figures where there's so many panels to flip and close and you know, rotate around. It's really just these panels to kind of fill out the back of the legs that you have to kind of unfold, but it's really not too bad. It's not too intricate. And I think they did a good job even closing all this up and everything storing there in the chest. Yeah, he's a cool little dude. I like him. Like I said, I have no idea if they're going to do any more. I got this on BBTS. I think it's sold out. It was put off for a while, and then it finally came out and sold out right away, and that was kind of it. So again, I have no idea if this is a random one-off, why they would pick one of the Protectobots to be a one-off. I really don't know, but I like them. I've always been a fan of Streetwise. I think it's a cool design. I think maybe I have to get an Autobot sticker for right there. I think that would look pretty good. But yeah, he's a cool little dude. I think he's got good articulation, good transformation. I mean, I'm a little worried this arm is starting to look a little loose, but we'll see how it goes over time. But yeah, he's a fun little guy. Now, I will say this was, I think, like $40, which seems like a lot. I know the Magic Square ones are, depending on where you pick them up, around that price. But I do feel like their quality is a little better. Just for comparison, here is Magic Square Swindle. So they, size comparison wise, I think they work well together. But you can see this guy, now of course he also has to be a combiner limb, but he's got so much more going on in terms of intricacy with the panels and the flaps. And, you know, if I picked this guy up after a while, I have to get the instructions out. I do not remember how he transforms. Whereas this guy, I think you could figure it out. So this is a little bit more simplistic. This is probably a little bit more solid, but more difficult. So you kind of have to figure out what your trade-off is there. But the nice thing is they scale well together. So you could definitely display them together. I think that's really cool. Also, just for fun, I wanted to do one of these blocks, one of these little buildable figures. These guys are about the same size as well. Now, of course, he does not transform. He does, but I just thought it was cool. And he's got kind of a stylized quality to it in terms of the proportions and everything. But, you know, I just thought this was pretty cool. So I wanted to share that these guys are about the same size as well. So you could have these two together against Swindle, something like that. Pretty cool. All good stuff. So I think Mini Guardian Fuzz, or whatever his name is, Streetwise, is a really cool little figure. I've always been a fan of the Protectobots, and so when I saw this, I got really excited. It's a basically Legends scale Streetwise. I have no idea if they're going to do the rest of the team. I have no idea if this was a one and done. We'll have to wait and see. But I think it's got pretty good articulation. I wish the knees could bend a little bit more. It really can only do about 45 degrees in the knees, and that's kind of a bummer. But I think the paint applications for the head and everything are good. All the windows painted black, I think, looks really sharp. That was the way to go. Transformation, I think, is fun. You could figure it out. It's not too difficult. It's not super intricate. So if you're looking for a Legends scale figure that's not as complicated as some of the Magic Square stuff, because while I love the Magic Square stuff, you really need the instructions, especially if it's been a minute since the last time you transformed it. You're going to probably have to break those instructions out because they're very intricate. They look great in both modes when you're done, but very intricate. This is a nicer balance, I think. I think it looks great in both modes, and it's not overly complicated because I had to kind of figure it out on my own because the directions were not very good. I wish the plastic quality was a little bit more solid. I mean, in certain spots, it's perfectly fine. But some of these little panels, you know, I wonder over time, is anything going to snap? I mean, this shoulder is already getting a little loose on me, which is kind of a bummer. But other than that, I think he's fun. I do kind of wish he was cheaper. I feel like just eyeballing this should be 25 to 30, and I think it was more like 40 to 45, if I remember correctly, which does seem like a lot. So I wish the price was a little bit cheaper. Maybe if you wait till... But then again, it's sold out. So like I said, it kind of came through, sold out, and I have no idea if they're going to do any more of them. I would love to get the whole Protectobot team, even if they can't combine, because like looking at this, I don't see obvious places for combiner ports or anything like that. So even if they just kind of did the Protectobots, but they couldn't form Defensor, I think I'd be fine with that. I just always like their designs. I like First Aid's design. Blades is another one I really like. Hotspot's fine. Groove is probably my least favorite, honestly. That one I feel like has never been super successful in all the various toys of Groove that they've made over the years. But yeah, I think this guy's fun. If you're looking for a little legend scale Streetwise, I think this guy is pretty decent. I do wish it was a little bit cheaper, but overall, I'm happy I picked it up, and it scales really well with my Magic Square Combaticons, and that's what I'm really excited about. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.